All right. So we're gonna talk about the engulf, okay? The engulf, you have to identify if it is fresh or unfresh. That's the first thing that you're gonna do. Now, we don't care about the patterns. We don't care if it is a QM pattern, if it is a rally pattern, if it is a double normal breakout pattern engulf, okay? As long as it is the last bullish candlestick before the down move, or the last bullish candlestick before the up move, bearish candlestick before the up move, you have to understand that that is the engulf, and you have to identify if it is fresh or unfresh. Now, a leg of price can contain a lot of engulfs down the way. As you can see here, you're gonna have one, you're gonna have two, and you're gonna have three right here. Which one do you pick? Okay, basically, you're gonna use the timing and liquidity that I'm gonna explain in a bit. Okay, it's very, very simple. If you guys never heard of these terms, I'm gonna try to simplify it as much as possible and answer all your questions. Okay, so an engulf in a bearish move. So it's the last up candle before the bearish move, last up candle before the bearish move, last up candle before the bearish move. Vice versa for a big bullish momentum. You're going to have the last bearish candle before the up move, the last bearish candle before the up move, and you have to identify if it's fresh or unfresh. Now let's take a look at some examples right here. So as you can see, the last up candle before this down move, the last up candle before this small down move. So we're going to take this one. Take a look at this one. You're going to box it from the bottom wick to the highest point of that candlestick. You're going to drag it to the right, and you're going to see where price left it with a closure, body closure. Now, as you can see, this is the candlestick that left it with a body closure, right? And now you can see that price retested it with a wick. Once you see this retest with a wick, the engulf is no longer basically fresh. Now, the engulfs that we're going to be using with EU are only on M15 and M5. You're not going to use them on H1. You're not going to use them on M30. You're not going to use it on M1. You're not going to use none of that, okay? None of that. Only M15 and M5, okay? I'm going to show you where to put your stop loss. So your stop loss here is going to be different. Your stop loss is going to be where the engulf ends. So you're going to be entering where the engulf starts, and you're going to be putting your stop loss just above it, right? Not slightly above it, on where it ends, okay? So your TP is going to be, yeah, basically I'm going to explain that later. So in this example, this is an unfresh engulf. Let me give you another example right here. As you can see, okay, let me try and do this one, yeah. Let me try and do this one. So this is the last up candle before the down move, right? Where do you check the body closure that went out of it? So 1, 2, third candle, okay? Third candle went out of it, and then it didn't test it here, so it was fresh until price touched it right here, as you can see with this wick. So once price touched it with this wick, we got a small reaction right here, and that made it unfresh, okay? So the wick makes the engulf unfresh. As you can see here, always check the candle that closed below. We do not care about this whole big wick. We don't care about this down wick, okay? As long as price is still inside and didn't close outside of it, then we don't care about these candlesticks. You only care about the ones that come after the body closure outside the engulf, okay? So any questions for now on how to mark a fresh and unfresh engulf? An engulf can be used only once. So with this strategy, you're going to be holding the trade from 10 minutes to 3 hours. Yeah. So let's take a look at the last down candles before the up move. So you're going to have the last down candle before the up move. The last down candle before the up move. Now, is this engulf fresh? Is this engulf fresh? Now let's take a look at the first one. Body closure above, you have a wick right here. It is unfresh. Body closure above, retest, unfresh. Okay, now let's take a look at some fresh engulfs. Fresh engulfs, you're gonna find one. I think I've seen one right on M15. So the last up candle before the down move, from bottom to top, drag it to the right. As you can see, body closure outside, price never came back. Okay, so this is fresh. What time frame should we look? Only I was saying that you're only gonna use it on M15, M5. Okay, yeah, you're not gonna use it on H1, H4. You're not gonna do that. So for this strategy, you're gonna use daily M15, M5. That is it. Okay. Yeah. Any questions about fresh and unfresh? you have to use it during the session? Yes, you have to use it during the kill zone. Why didn't you select the candle before? I'm just picking any random candles to show you how to mark fresh and unfresh. I'm not picking the ones that reacted or failed. I don't care. Okay, so let's take this one. The last one before the down move. As you can see, body closure. Price retested it with a wick. This is unfresh. Get it? Okay, so now we're gonna talk about what engulfings you're gonna pick at what time and how to execute. So before we go ahead and talk about that, you have to understand what is liquidity. Okay, what are the types of the liquidity? So what does liquidity mean? Okay, you can name it whatever. It's not something complicated. Liquidity is basically a zone of price where it's most likely gonna reverse from. So price gonna do this. It's gonna reach that liquidity zone. Boom, reverse from it. Okay, it's gonna do the same thing with bearish movements. So it's gonna go down, down, down until it's gonna find that liquidity, takes it, and then goes up. So what's liquidity? It's basically the stop loss of retail traders, whatever they say. So used to learn about double top. Okay, this is a pattern where it says price wants to go lower, so this becomes a zone of resistance where price is going to bounce again from it, and then you put your stop loss above. So liquidity is their stop loss. Basically, the big traders or whatever, they know where your stop loss is. Basically, the 95% of traders use this strategy. So hit your stop loss and then reverse. Where is it going to reverse from? It's going to reverse above the liquidity from a fresh engulf on the M15 or M5 from the left side. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do with the liquidity. The first type of liquidity is the daily highs and lows. Very, very, very simple. You're gonna pick a daily candle. You're gonna pick the high and the low. Okay, so you're gonna pick the high and the low of that candle. And once you go to M15, okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, back. So you're gonna pick the high and the low of that candle. You're gonna go to M15 and you're gonna see price doing something like this. This is on M15. It is the same thing that you see on the daily high and low, okay? So that's the high of the daily. That's the low of the daily. And as you can see right here, this is the daily chart. This is the M15. What you're gonna do is you're gonna ignore all the engulfs that are inside this price action. You're only gonna pick the engulfs that are above or below the daily high, right? So you're gonna pick one on M15 here, or M5 there, or F15 here, M5 there. So price tends to do this, takes the high of that daily, okay, then goes to the daily low. The same thing with the bottom. It tends to do, it tends to liquidate the daily low and then goes to the daily high. This is the first type of liquidity. The second type of liquidity is the sessions highs and lows. So you're gonna go from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. UK time. That's where Asia session is. So you're gonna have price action of Asian session, okay? You're gonna box basically the Asian session or pick the high and the low of that Asian session. But before you do this, guys, always check with storyline. Storyline has to align with your setup. If the storyline is bearish and you have a bullish engulf that you want to take a buy from, it's high risk and it's more likely to hit your break even or stop loss. Okay. So always check with storyline. So Asian high, Asian low, and engulf above, engulf below, takes the high, goes to the bottom. Okay, so you're gonna sell right here, stop loss just there, and your TP is going to be the low of the other, basically session high or low. The same thing with London. When are you gonna execute the trade? If you pick the Asian highs and lows or the daily, basically Asian highs or lows, you're gonna execute in London. If you picked the daily highs and lows, you're gonna either execute in London or New York. So you're gonna do the same thing with London. You're gonna have London here. You're gonna pick the highest point of London and the lowest point of London, and you pick your engulf here or here on M15, or M5, and you're gonna wait for price to hit and then go to the other side. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. I'm gonna use FX replay for that. Create session. I'm gonna make you guys backtest this, guys. Just put a random amount right here. Your USD. Okay. Start date. Let's just start with what day it is right here. 22nd. Okay. We're gonna backtest today's entries that I missed. So what you're gonna have is you're gonna go instantly to the daily. What you're gonna do in the daily, you're gonna mark the previous high and the previous low, and then go directly to the M15. Okay, what you're gonna do on M15, what time is it right here? Let's just change it. Not London. All right. So for me, it is from 1 a.m. till 6 a.m. is the Asian session. So you're gonna wait for the Asian session to end, and you're gonna mark the highs and the lows of that. Okay, just a bit. It's laggy right here. Come on. Okay, it's a bit laggy right here. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's just see right here. So you're gonna pick the lowest point of Asia. So Asia for me starts at 1 from here, ends at 6. You're gonna pick the highest point and the lowest point right here. So as you can see, price, yeah, FX replay does that for me as well sometimes. I don't know why, but yeah. So London opens and it takes the high, goes to the low. Okay, so how would you take the sell? The only way to take this sell is if you find an engulf that is fresh on M15 or M5 here. Now, do you see one on M15? I don't see that on M15. So what I would do, I would go to the M5. Now, do you see any M5 engulf that made price react from it? No. So basically, you would have missed this sell. What about the buy? I don't see anything on the left. So yeah, no trades for London session. So you do the same thing with London. You pick the lowest point of London and the highest point of London, and you're gonna pick an engulf above it, an engulf below it. Let me just try again with FX replay. I want this to work. I want you guys to spot the trades. I don't want to do this on my own. Do you know how to fix this? Why is it doing this, man? Does anyone know how to fix this? Let's just go here and then play it again. Recreate the session, okay. I don't have the premium on TradingView, that's why I'm doing FX replay. So yeah, it always pauses at the same time for some reason. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just use this. So the end of the time, I didn't reach it. Oh, it's literally, yeah, it's max. It's right now, I think. I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter. So above this high and below this low, we're gonna look at engulfs on M15. So guys, for those that can annotate on my Zoom, where do you see the next engulf on F15. Okay. Annotate using the zoom pencil. Annotations, guys, come on. Okay, that one. Let's go there. Okay, that is correct. You have a fresh engulf on M15, but would you be 100% sure that price is going to go all the way up there before it goes down? What do you do in this case? When the engulf is too far, or you don't have an engulf at all that is fresh, as you can see, you have this one, but it is unfresh. I want you guys to anticipate in this. Only one that is drawing on my Zoom. Come on, guys. So this is an unfresh engulf. Okay. This is an unfresh engulf. So what would you do is you go to the M5 and do the same thing. So you're going to go to the M5 and pick all the fresh engulfs in this leg of price. This one is not fresh. It is touched in Asian session, as you can see right here. Asian session touched it, so it's no longer fresh. Give me one. So what do you guys see here? Okay, that one, good. No, I don't think that one is fresh. Look, check this out. Okay, that one is unfresh. What about that one? That one is fresh. And you have this one that is also fresh. Now, when do you execute? This one is unfresh, we said, so we're going to remove that. So when do you execute the trade? You execute the trade only when New York opens. So from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time, you're not going to execute the trade there because it's between London and New York. So you're going to wait for London open. And once London open starts, you're going to wait for the engulf to hit in that New York open kill zone, and you're going to execute your trade. So your sell is going to be right here. Your stop loss is going to be above, and your TP is going to be the other side of London. So if it took the high of London, you're going to TP at London low. Now, as you can see, price right here did what? Hit the engulf on New York. So as you can see, New York open. We took the high of the London. We hit that engulf. Okay. We hit that engulf, stop loss above, and your TP is going to be the other side of London. This is a 7.22 RR trade, okay? Yeah, and as you can see, it reacted perfectly from there. Now, do we have an engulf from the bottom that we could have bought from? We do, but on lower time frames, and we don't use lower time frames than M5. So on M5, everything is unfresh, so I wouldn't be able to catch this buy. So you do this every single day. Every single day, you have at least one setup, okay? So daily high and low, Asian high and low, London high and low, you execute in the sessions, okay? So I'm just gonna give you another exception. Let's say you have this is the Asian high, and this is the daily high. They are both liquidity zones, and you have an engulf that is fresh here, and an engulf that is fresh right here. Sorry, let's just pick one right here. You have a fresh engulf right here. Now, this fresh engulf is very close to the daily high, and this is Asian high. When London opens, do not sell on this one because it is on the daily high, because price tends to take the daily high before going down. So if it goes close to the daily high, it will not react from your engulf. It will take it and then go down. So when you have Asian high close to the daily high, pick an engulf above both of them, okay? And then you sell from there. Yeah, so in this case, this one was way too far from the daily high. That's why we sold today. Let me read the chat for some questions. Do you know the win rate approximately? The win rate is 70%. For me personally, using this with that much RR, correct. As you can see in my stories, I posted 2 losses and 10 wins, I guess, in the last week with that RR. Yes, it is very possible if you do the math. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Let's say you had a trade for the break. Yeah, I always take full TP, guys, because when you take partial, you're going to fuck the RR. From 10 RR, you're going to jump all the way down to 3 RR. Do not partial. Do not fucking partial. Let's say you had a trade for the break of the Asian high and low, but the daily high is not taken yet. Let's say that daily high gets taken during New York. You take the daily high, trade 2 or only one trade for the. So I would take as many setups as I see, but for me, my psychological plan is one trade per day is enough for euro dollar, okay, not for gold. For euro dollar, I only trade one trade per day, so one trade is enough. Now let's backtest the previous day. I don't think I took any trades the previous day because I had some losses before. So I'm gonna show you the losses that I took, guys. Okay, there is no shame in that. So here we had the Asian low and we had the Asian high. Now price took the Asian low and then took the Asian high, right? I lost approximately $12,000 on this trade, which is totally fine because I made it all back up with today's trade. So it took the low, and this is the fresh engulf that I've seen on euro dollar. Also, the storyline was bullish. There is nothing wrong with this trade. So buy right here, sell right, stop loss right there, and then it hit my stop loss, instantly went all the way up. So this happens, okay? Let me just take a look at some previous trades right here. That one also lost. Okay. See, this is a daily high, got taken, price went down, daily high got taken, price went down. How could you catch these sells? You go to the M15, okay? You go to the M15, you mark your daily high. It got taken during New York. Once it got taken during New York, okay, you go to the left and pick your engulf right here. So in this case, the engulf was 1.5 pips. When the engulf is less than 2.5 pips, you would want to largen it. Okay, I don't want to be having 1.5 stop loss because that's unlogical for me. Okay, some people do that, but I don't. So I just widened it to 3 pips. Honestly, I picked the whole thing, but yeah, you could do this. So price went to it, it went down. Instead of targeting these, it went up to my break even again. So once it took my break even, I waited for another setup. So my other setup was an Asian high to low setup. So we took the Asian high, as you can see, it is at 1 a.m. after 1 a.m. my time. And then we took the high and then we went down. We went down from what? An M15 engulf? I don't see any. So let's go to the M5. On M5, there was this fresh engulf right here. This is very fresh, as you can see, it did not get touched. Use forex.com for your USD, by the way. So here, BE after 3.5 RR. Okay, we had this one as well, if you can see, but this one got touched in Asia. We don't trade in Asia. Okay, as you can see, boom. Asia gave a sell, but I don't take it. Okay, so here you're gonna have your engulf, and that is where we sold from. So you're gonna sell there, stop loss there. And if you go check my highlights on Instagram, I took this trade and I shared before and the after, okay? So also for this day, I think I took a buy right here. It was a London taking the Asian lows, and then it went to the highs, okay, that daily high. So yeah, it's all about finding the engulfs below and above the session highs or daily highs and lows, and executing them inside the kill zones. That's it. Do you have a preference of New York versus London? I do have a preference, but New York moves faster. London has a high win rate and New York moves faster. If you trade on New York, you're gonna hit that TP in like less than 1 hour and a half. But if you trade on London, it might take longer, but the win rate is very, very high. Okay, very, very high. Yeah. Also, you can take continuations using the engulfing after your first entry. Let's say you entered there at the top, right here, that is your entry. Every new engulf that gets created, you can take an entry. So as you can see, the last up move before the bearish move, you can take another entry there. I don't use this because I already risk a lot on there, so I don't really need the extra things. Also, this one is lower win rate, so yeah. New engulf, price pulls back, goes down. New engulf, price pulls back, it goes down. Now, as you can see, this one came back and hit the top of the zone, and then price went down. Okay, so yeah, you can do this. And yeah, any questions, guys? What if you have an M5 fresh zone, but then a few pips above you have a fresh M15 one? Which one would you pick? I would pick the closest one right when the kill zone opens. Let's say 8 a.m. and I have both zones. 8 a.m. for me is London. So if it touches the first one, I'm selling. If it hits stop loss, I'm selling on the one above. Look at the daily story. You have to look at the daily storyline, okay, to make sure that you are with the storyline. If you are against it, it just lowers the quality. It doesn't mean you're not gonna be taking it at all, okay? So just know that it might fail. That's it. That is it. So yeah. Unfortunately, FX replay did not work. I would have gave you other examples, but yeah. Now, let me give you an example right here. As you can see, London high, London low. You're gonna tell me, hey bro, you have a fresh engulf right here. Why did this one fail? Look at the time. It's between London and New York. Okay, New York open did not open yet. So New York did not open yet. So why would you take a sell from there? That means this engulf is gonna fail. So do not take trades outside the kill zone. So that means that when New York opens, it's gonna take this engulf. It's gonna take the stop loss. So it took that and then went to this one, and this trade was freaking amazing. I was so happy here. It was CPI, and then price just boom, instantly went down. Okay, instantly went down. Your TP is just the other side. So if you sell above the London high, you're gonna TP at the London low. If you buy below the London low, you're gonna TP above the London high. Okay, that's it. I have tested on AUD USD, JPP USD, but stick to euro dollar. Euro dollar is gonna give you everything you need. Okay, all the money you need. You don't have to use this on multiple pairs because you're just gonna fuck it up for yourself. If the M15 engulf is big, find one on the M5 that is smaller. But if the M5 is unfresh, stick to M15. Is this this indicator is ICT kill zones Stratinator, as you can see right here. I'm not a fan of ICT, but yeah, this indicator is good. I don't care. So just type IC kill zones Stratinator. Yeah, you can have this on 28 trades. That's it. And on the settings, make sure you turn off the show London lunch and your close, and show central banks deal range, also turn it off. So you only need London close kill zone, New York kill zone, London open kill zone, Asian kill zone, daily open. You don't need that. Okay, so just these four. Yeah. The other entry types I discussed previously will work on your USD. Yes, they do work on euro dollar. But I prefer using this engulf with liquidity method on euro dollar, and the win rate is very, very high. Trust me, it's very high, as high as MSNR on gold. So some people were confused with gold, so let's jump to gold right here. Storyline turned bearish. Look at this. Daily reject daily. H4 breakout right here. H4 breakout right here, storyline bearish, and then price boom went up. Some people sold in here. Oh, I sold here, I lost. Why did I lose? Like storyline failed. No, it didn't fail. First of all, we did the breakout right here. Okay, we did the breakout, so storyline is bearish. Now we don't take a sell from here. Why? But you told us that we can take sells from here is in M5. Well, first of all, M5 did not show you any confirmation. Second thing is that you guys forgot the rule of once you touch a daily, you ignore the last level that got created on H4. Let's say storyline is bullish, boom, buy, continuation, buy. The last level that got created right here, you're gonna ignore that because it's the last level that got created before we touched the daily, so you're gonna ignore that. Now this level is got created before we touched this one. So the last level that got created before we touched the daily, you ignore that. First, that's why we lost it. Now you have a daily touch, H4 breakout, you don't need to wait for the daily rejection to start a bullish storyline. Why? Because we said that the rejection is just 10% of the storyline. So when you have the rejection, you're going to wait for the H4 breakout. But when you have the H4 breakout, you don't have to wait for the daily rejection. What happens when the storyline shifts to bullish? All your sell limits that were here, you can delete them or just take them with the smaller lot size, because they're going to turn from low risk setups to high risk setups. I don't want to be taking them, okay? Yeah. What rule should I repeat? I mean, it's in the recording. The session is recorded anyway, so you can just watch it later on, okay? So here, storyline is bullish. Guys, I would want to take buys on gold, okay? The level that we must not use, okay. Daily reject daily, H4 breakout, H4 pullback, bullish storyline, continuation buy, continuation buy, continuation buy. Now, when price touches the daily, just ignore the last level that got created before we touched it. That's it. You don't want to be buying from it because it's going to fail and then take the second level and then go up. It's the same thing that happened today. Ignore the last level that got created before the touch, okay? Risk management is for next session. Yeah, so your homework is always the same for euro dollar. Signals, and for the whole next week, I want you guys to give me signals for euro dollar using the same strategy. I'm gonna be doing a live stream. It's not canceled. I'm gonna be doing a live stream during this week or the next one. It really depends on price action and my time availability. Okay, so if I'm available during one day of this week, so. CE refers to consequent encroachment. We're going to also cover that in the next session, and we're going to do a refreshment of everything. Yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, hit me up on Telegram in the group, not in private. I have a lot of private DMs, so just tag me in the group. I'm going to be checking that every day evening and answering only the questions that make sense for me, okay? So I'm not going to answer stupid questions. Please do not get offended, guys, as well. So yeah, peace. I'll catch you up on the next one. Bye-bye.